Welcome to Inside the Huddle on the Muskies Sports Network with Muskingum head football coach Al Logan, your number one source for all the latest news on the Fighting Muskies. Coach, Muskies suffered a tough setback in the season opener at home against Waynesburg on Saturday. After watching the film, what are your thoughts about how Muskingum played?
Well, I think like any first game, I think you learn a little bit more about your team. And I thought our kids played hard. Thought we had great effort. Had some young kids playing in some places, and after watching the film, I thought they stepped up. Our right tackle, Sam Lucas, for being a freshman and playing, I thought did a nice job for us, and some kids in some other places. So I think it was an eye opener for a few of our guys also, just in terms of how physical the game is, and that's the first time that we've played a whole game. So. But we got a game under our belt now, and I thought we made some great strides, and we got to continue to work on some things, but we got kids that'll do that.
Sophomore quarterback Alex Meredith made his first career start. How do you think he managed the game?
I thought Alex did a nice job for us. We talk about not turnovers, and all those turnovers weren't on him, but we did have 2 interceptions and a fumble, but I thought he managed the game pretty well for us. I thought he showed a lot of poise for his first start, and I look for Alex just to get better and better every week.
Junior running back Anthony Fry was having a nice game before leaving in the third quarter. How do you think his loss impacted the offense?
Well, it changes a little bit in what we could do, and Anthony brings a little bit of a spark into us in terms of running the ball, but Shane Dotson stepped in, Alvin Taylor stepped in and gave us some reps in there also, but for sure him leaving the game, truly affected the way what we did in terms of calling the game a little bit more.
Senior defensive back Andrew Davis, an OAC Player of the Week nominee, did a kickoff return for 85 yards in the third quarter. Can you talk about that play and about what makes him a dangerous return man?
Well, he's been back here before for us, and he hits the thing running. He's not a very big guy, but he finds the gap and he goes. And, if you look at the first 2 kickoff returns that we had, those were all one person away from goal, so we thought we could stay with it, that we could get him up through there. And then, he's got great speed. He's going to be hard to run down once you get by that last guy. And kind of an exciting time, got us back in the game, give us a little bit of momentum.
Defensively, the Muskies held Waynesburg to just 262 yards of offense. Can you talk about the defense and how the staff thought they performed? Well,
yeah, I think, like always, I think you got to take and look at the good things we did and build on that, and correct the things that we didn't do right. So we had some missed tackles, and we got to work on tackling a little bit this week. But for the most part, I think our effort was there. We got to find a few more guys. There's probably the fewest number of defensive guys we played up front. We got to find a few guys that can give Logan Ladd, maybe Steven Stooksbury a break every once in a while, so they can get out and catch their breath. But they played 77 snaps and hold a team at 260 yards. I think he had 11 first downs. That's probably a pretty good day.
Last week we talked about the importance of the season opener, about how a win would be nice going to the bye week. Now you're going to the bye week with a loss. What does the coaching staff do to keep the team focused and keep the morale high?
Well, our goal is one game at a time. We're going to focus. We're fortunate we get 2 weeks to get ready for Mount Union. We're going to spend this week really trying to prepare some of the things we think we can prepare based off of last week's game, some of the things we didn't do right, and work maybe on just a little bit more fundamentals before we get into Mount Union. So, we're going to keep our kids' morale high. We come away with a positive, I think, outlook. Even with the loss, I think you learn more from your team when you lose, and I think our frame of thought, I guess, I think is still pretty good. So we're excited. We got 9 games left to compete in, and we're going to take them one at a time.
Coach, you just mentioned Mount Union. The second-ranked Purple Raiders is the next game on the schedule. What are your initial thoughts about the Purple Raiders?
No, we don't have their film yet. We won't get it till Thursday, but I think they feel that they got a pretty good team coming back, and I'm sure they do. So we got our hands. We got our work cut out for us. And, for us, we're going to get back to the grind and get to work on what we have from last year. And then Thursday, when we get to the film, we'll get cranked up on those guys next year. But, it's a team with great speed, great tradition. They do an outstanding job. And, for us to kind of take the step to the next level, we got to be able to compete with those guys and do a good job. And I'm not sure people understand. Waynesburg has a pretty nice football team. They brought back a lot of kids off of last year's team, and they think they're going to be pretty good. They're in that conference. Think they're going to be, one of the top 1 or 2 teams, and has some votes nationally. So And we felt like we kind of let our last game slip away. So we got some momentum, even though we lost. We're going to build on the good things and get better at the things we didn't do very well.
Thank you, Coach, for joining me on Inside the Huddle.